Come on, Daisy. Come on, hon. Come on, hon. Hey, Kathy, how you doing? Babysitting a couple dogs while some friends of mine are out of town for a couple days. Gotta go feed them about 4 times, or let them out about 4 or 5 times a day. Hey, Sheila, how you doing? Hey, Tommy, what's happening? This live is screwing up tonight, so babysitting a couple dogs while friends of mine are out of town. How you guys doing tonight? Oh, okay. These are a couple of German Shepherds. The one German Shepherd's owner just died about a month ago, and it's his brother's whose house I'm going over to. Really super nice dogs. I don't think I'd want big dogs inside like that, but nobody asked me. Hey BR, how you doing? Going to let a couple dogs out, give them some food. Kind of a boring night. God damn it, I just turned down the wrong road. You never come over here at night. Gotta go down one more road. Yeah, these are huge dogs, these German Shepherds. Super nice dogs. You know, you hear these stories about dogs and when their owner dies and all this stuff. You know, I've experienced a lot of dogs that lost their owner. And you know, if the media doesn't get involved, they seem to do just fine. This one dog's owner just died. Hell, he hasn't missed a beat. I mean, that kind of ruins a tearjerker story, but that's the truth. I bet Daisy'd do fine too if I kicked the bucket. Okay, Dad, move over there, hon. Can you get over there, Daisy? You get over here? Good girl. Okay, be right back, hon. Be right back, hon. I think that's something the media trumps up. I mean, I know my dog likes me, and I like my dog, but I think if I didn't come home tomorrow, everything would be fine. You know, it's funny, I let these dogs out 4 or 5 times a day, at least. You would think they'd be dying to get out. Well, I got some packages delivered today. You think they'd be dying to get out, but you know they're not. They want to come back in almost after I let them outside. Boomer Lily. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, huh? Wow. The dark one, that's the one whose owner just died. Hey, Lily. Hi, sweetheart. Hey, girl. Come on over here. Good girl. Wow. Wow. Hope these dogs never attack me. There won't be anything left. These dogs are huge, especially the female. Go on, hon, run around. Go on. Go on, Lily. Good dog. It's all right, Boomer. It's all right. You think they don't? That's all right, Boomer. Good boy. I think they're from the same litter. Maybe not. Good girl, Lily. One weighs like 120. Good girl, hon. Good dogs. Good dogs, huh? Go on. Go on, Lily. I leave the TV on for them. You're not eating much. You're not eating much. Come on. See, I want to go out in the regular yard. Go on. Good dogs. So what are you guys up to tonight? Doing anything fun? Hey, Kathy. Oh, thanks, Barb. Yeah, believe me, I'm a fanatic about if somebody asks me to watch their pet. I really do. If there's something extra I could do for them, I would. And I find odd is you think they'd want to stay out and mess around a lot, but they really don't. Yeah, I always think that. I hate it. I'm lucky. I have one good friend of mine that watches Daisy if I have to go out of town. And I don't worry about it at all, other than maybe overfeeding her. Hey, Michael, how you doing? But I don't, I've had maybe 5 instances where I knew that friends of mine or acquaintances and they got killed or they died from some kind of disease, and their dogs seem to get along just fine. But the media, seems to put a real spin on those stories. I don't really know for sure either way. I can just say that what I've experienced is these dogs didn't miss a beat. If they missed their owner, they were keeping it to themselves. Hey, Delia. Hey, Linda. How are you? They were keeping it to themselves. They're not around moping or anything like that. I don't really know these dogs that well, I'll tell you the truth. This is Lily. Lily. I know Lily a little bit. This one. Yeah, Linda. Good to see you, Linda. This one right here I've known since I got her, but I don't come over here that much. Lily. Lily. Hey, Lily, you good girl. The other one I just met the other day. Boomer. You good boy? Yeah, you good boy. This is the one whose owner died right here. Hey, Boomer. Beautiful dog. You're a good-looking dog. They're friends of mine. Their daughter had a baby, and they had to go visit her. This is Lily, and that's Boomer. And they are good German Shepherds. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't really care for German Shepherds for some reason. Maybe it's because they're so big. Yeah, I'd watch your dogs. I watch people's dogs, no problem. Feed cats, hamsters, birds. Take good care of them. I mean, there's not really much to it. Yeah, I'll tell you, if I had a lady that worked for me about 30 years ago, and it was the same kind of scenario, two German Shepherds out of the same litter. She had one and her daughter had the other. Long story short, like they'd done a million times before, she was babysitting the daughter's dog. They were out in the driveway, and the dogs ended up getting in a little skirmish. They'd done it a lot. Anyway, she went to break them up like she'd done 1,000 times before, and they attacked her. They almost killed her. About 450 stitches. If it wouldn't have been for a neighbor and a hose, she'd have died. So maybe that's why I'm a little iffy on German Shepherds. I also had one bite me in the ass one time as a kid. Wow. Yeah, now see, these dogs really don't know me too well. I can come just march in this house like it's nothing. They did YouTube's got some pretty good videos where the question is, if someone broke into my house, would my dog attack them? Well, I've had a lot of pit bulls over the past. Great dogs, loved them. But those dogs were not trained to be aggressive towards human beings. And you could have broken into my house, no problem. I mean, they would have maybe barked and stuff, but everybody thinks because you've got two pit bulls, they're going to find just a couple shredded burglars when you get home. It doesn't work that way. And in the higher end pit bulls, the ones that bring the big bucks for breeding, people steal those all the time. Now, animal aggression's different. The game pit bulls, but the ones as house pets, that's why when they busted that Michael Vick, they had a picture in People magazine about 6 months later of about 5 pit bulls sitting on a couch with some suburbanite housewife. That's bullshit. Those weren't dogs from a fighting ring, I'll tell you that. Good dogs, huh? You guys good dogs? Good. Yeah, I wish I could do something more for them, but... Yeah, they're great pets. I love pit bulls. Hey, Linda, great. Good to see you. Good night. Say hi to Indianapolis. Ready to go inside now? Ready to go inside? Come on, Lily. Come on, girl. Come on, Lily. What are you doing? You coming inside? Look at the size of the feet on that dog. You coming inside? You good girl? Come on, Lily. You guys got food and water? They leave the lights on and the TV playing for them. Come on, Lily. Come on, hon. Come on, sweetheart. That's the first time she's ever given me any credit coming inside. Come on, Lily. Come on, girl. Good girl. I'll come get you in the morning. Good girl. You guys got food and water. Good night. Yeah, pit bulls are great dogs. They really are, unless you've had a bad experience with them, like anything else, Now in the daytime when it's nice, I have, like tried to get them to like chase the ball and stuff. They don't seem that interested. It's weird. I guess they're maybe just not like Daisy. Make sure I got this door locked right. I don't know why that. You don't need to lock your doors out here. It's Andy and Mayberry. Hard to see out here, though, I'll tell you that. There, I got it there. Now I'll come to the real pit bull, Daisy. There's the real pit bull right there, Daisy. They usually make the trip down. These people are from Windsor, Ontario, but they didn't want the dogs running around their daughter with their new baby, so they left them home. Hey Mark, how you doing? Yeah, they're gorgeous dogs, aren't they, Mark? I agree. Yeah, pit bulls are great dogs. I went through the court system with those one time. City tried to make me get rid of them. It's about a 5-year court battle. They were the nicest dogs in the world. I ended up beating them, but it took forever, and it took a lot of time and expense. I represented myself, so I didn't get tagged with a bunch of lawyer fees. I ended up suing the police department, a couple neighbors, the mayor. You know how that bullshit goes in those lawsuits. I mean, they were going to make an example of me because they didn't want pit bulls. And by the time I got into it and I realized they were just starting to... They came up with some bullshit ordinance where the dog catcher, with no additional training, could assess that the dog was potentially vicious by the way it looked at him. Just bullshit like that. So once they pissed me off and I was already into it about a year, I did the same thing everybody does in a big lawsuit. I said, okay, you guys are going to do this. So I ended up tying them up in court for about 5 years. I sued the dog catcher, the couple of lying police officers. I'm not an anti-cop guy, but these guys just lied. The mayor, a couple neighbors that had petitions to get the dogs moved. I mean, I did everything I could to alleviate the fears they had about pit bulls. You know, offered them to meet the dogs. I even went through some behavioral testing so they didn't, think it was just something that I was bullshitting them with. 5 more years and moved. Now there's pit bulls all over there. That was about 1990. Yeah, thanks, Mark. It was a long time. I had a couple of veterinarians go to bat. You know who really went to bat for me on that is the Humane Society. I just looked that lady up the other day on the internet. Eileen Liska, Liska, sweetheart. Her husband was a nice guy too. She died. So did her husband. She wasn't... Eileen wasn't that old, just a peach of a woman. I mean, I was on the Humane Society board up here. It was terrible. I hated it. I lasted about 4 months. It's all political. I was naive enough to think you're going to go in there and think it's going to be something about animals. It was the opposite. Yeah, you'll see where Eileen, sponsored a lot of legislation for... breed-specific bans and, not to do it, and really busted her ass. Eileen Liska, Liska. She eventually turned into some kind of lobbyist that did work for the Humane Society, I think. What a sweet lady. Feel bad I never kept in touch with her more. At the time, my wife and I went out with her and her husband a couple times and just kind of falls apart. It's funny how people come in and out of your life and just no rhyme or reason for it. You can't. We really liked them. They liked us. Why didn't we stay closer. I couldn't answer that. But rest in peace, Eileen. She was a good person. The guy's name, I want to think his name was Wayne Wall. It was Wayne something. He had just started this behavioral aggression test for pit bulls. He was over near Grosse Pointe or St. Clair Shores. I think it was Wayne Wall. It was Wayne something. It really helped me out a lot. You know, could testify as an expert. Michigan State, they didn't do shit. I rescued a couple pit bulls in Michigan State that were used for animal testing. Just the sweetest damn dogs in the world. Yeah, that's how the justice system works in this country. Believe me, I've had a lot of experience with it. It's a lot of dirty pool. This notion that the scales are balanced and everything is equal is a myth. And like I tell people all the time, the right to remain silent is huge. It ought to cost you $10,000, and it's free and nobody uses this. I guess they don't think they pay enough for it. Law enforcement uses you're talking to them to help them, not you. And they will, it's legal for law enforcement to lie. They can testify in court to what you told them, but you can't testify to what they told you. It's hearsay. And a lot of times all they're looking for is for you to admit that you were there. Well, you know, we don't really think you did it, but you were there around 7 or 8. We know you weren't there long. Blah, 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 bullshit. That's the one lacking piece of information they needed to have you arrested. And you know, in the little problems I got in a couple years ago, I was well aware of the system, and I had already had quite a bit of experience. I've hacked my way through all sorts of lawsuits. I mean, I think it's pretty clear that I'm not an attorney when I'm in court, but I know enough to get by. And I know enough to drive them absolutely crazy and motion them up and have them in court all the time. I wear their ass out. And it's not like I'm filing frivolous lawsuits, like I slipped on your sidewalk or I trying to get something for nothing. But please, you guys, if you ever get in a law enforcement incident, remain silent. Please, remain silent. That is no kidding. They tell you right out front, everything can and will be used against you. And that's with a giant exclamation mark. You know, you tend to think as law enforcement as your friends. You know, you were brainwashed as a kid. The cops are here to help. They're out to protect everybody. What I find people are a little mixed up on, and that is that they think that, you know, in Michigan, the prosecutor is the chief law enforcement officer in a county. The prosecutor. It's like the top cop. And you think you're going to go into a prosecutor, like in a pretrial, and you're going to get some kind of sympathy? Look, they are looking for a win. And when they'll start cutting deals is when their information isn't too hot. And if they got you by the balls, they're not going to cut you any deals. And if you ever get in a criminal issue, let me tell you, court-appointed attorneys will sell you to the wolves in a heartbeat. And one of the deals I got into up in Gaylord, it was, and by the way, you know, you think if you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. Yeah, that's no kidding, but you know what they don't tell you? It's going to be a shitty attorney working for hardly any money at all, and that the fee that they pay him is going to be assessed to your court cost. You pay for that. Another thing that people don't realize is juries. You know, you have a right to a jury trial. You sure do. You pay for that too. It's about $2,600. That gets added to court costs. Yeah, keep an eye on those, but I'm serious, man. That system will eat your ass alive if you're naive. And you'll feel bad because a cop will come up to you and it's like, hey, Tom, How you doing? We just got a call, just the nicest guy in the world. Believe me, he's using everything to get an authorized warrant for you on whatever criminal case you're involved in. Now, if you witness a car accident or something like that, or a bank robbery, that's different. But when they're looking at you for a criminal incident, or you're a suspect, don't tell them a damn thing. All you do is dot the I's and cross the T's. Be polite about it, but just tell them that you would prefer not to make any comments without an attorney in your presence. Watch these crime shows. You can watch them all night long where these just guys sell themselves off all night long by running their big mouth. It sucks that it's got to be that way, but it is. I mean, I know, don't commit crime and you won't get in any trouble. Yeah, I'm all for that too. But I'm just saying, there are people that end up in prison that shouldn't be there because they cooperated with something that they really didn't, could have just said no comment to. It's unfortunate. And that just kind of, reminded me of a few things on those pit bull lawsuits. If you're ever down in Wayne County, some of the people in Detroit, you can always look it up. It's a huge file. I see the one bitch that was the city attorney at the time is still working for the city of Dearborn. Hey, Delia. Yeah, good for you. No, not all men are bad. You're right. That's right. And look, there's a lot of good cops out there, and prosecutors do a good role for society. I'm not to say that, there isn't some good that comes out of this. I'm just saying, for your own interest, just keep Uno at the top of the list at all times. What's my Daisy doing, huh? Oh, they do, Kathy. They sure do. Yeah, I'm going to check it out, Mark. Thank you. And it's just so cost prohibitive now to get defended. Yeah, but up in Gaylord, it was like $350 for a court-appointed attorney, and he would plead you out in a heartbeat. You can forget about him wanting to try your case because he gets paid about another $50. I wanted to show you on this damn YouTube. I tell you all the bullshit that YouTube comes up with all the time and this crazy money. They are so full of shit, it's ridiculous. And I just wanted to show you a little more on this. Now you see this? Let me YouTube Premium. I haven't got a check from YouTube in months. And the only check I got two checks, a small one and a big one. As I've said, I've made about $1,100, $1,150, something like that. But if you look at these numbers here, if you're getting these views, my advertising revenue is limited because of the type of people that I interview, I guess, which doesn't make a damn bit of sense to me. But you look at here, like it shows you dislikes. They categorize all this, as I've said before. But you see this right here? Detroit woman, a sweet woman. This was Penny. It shows that I've made in the last month $325. That is absolute bullshit. And if you go back in all the months, these are all the videos. You look at this. Looks like I'm really raking it in. I won't get a dime, and I'm not complaining. I mean, I like uploading on YouTube, but there's no money in this. I'm serious. I don't get a check, which I'm fine with, because if it would cost me about, if I had to pay for the same kind of server space on a platform similar to YouTube, so I'm okay with it all. The point here is, though, that I'm not making any money. And as I've said before, like, you see this subscriber thing, this is such bullshit. I've gotten 2,600 subscribers, I think, from April 2nd to April 29th. For what? Why? I think that once you get plugged into their system, it just off it goes. I don't think they take unsubscribers off your people that unsubscribed off your total any longer either. But this is all not true. It really isn't. Look at this, your estimated revenue. It's not true, you guys. I won't get a dime, and I didn't get a dime last month. Or the month before. I just don't. You would think today with these kind of computers and algorithms and the way they can calculate views and whatever that they would have down to a science, like who got what. Not at all. You can click on here, get your traffic sources. I mean, if you wanted to just do a numbers game, you could constantly just keep putting up videos on what garner attention. See, like here, most of my videos are suggested videos from YouTube. 1,985,000 minutes. And then browse features, blah, blah, blah. So I guess the reason I'm bringing this up is because there are people out there that think that if they're going to build a YouTube channel, that they're going to make some money, and you're not. I mean, I hate to discourage you, but I think I've got like 37,000 subscribers, and I don't make a dime. And I haven't made a dime, really. $1,100 since 2007. And that's with current views. And you look at these things and you're thinking, 776,000 views. It's 2.7 million minutes. I'll tell you who's making money, YouTube, but, they've offered a platform and I've accepted the terms and agreement. But people think when they see these views on these women that, I'm banking off their misfortune. Absolutely not true. I'll be in the hole forever. And again, I'm not complaining. So that's it, you guys. Well, I just thought I'd sign on, say hello, see how you're doing. And wish you all a good night. We'll be signing off here. Trying to get a decent night's sleep tonight. Appreciate you checking in. Okay, yeah, this is coming up. This hasn't been working that great. Good night, Mark. Thanks for checking in. Good night, Kathy. Yeah, I don't believe anything YouTube says. I really don't. Glad, Delia. Glad you have a good boyfriend. I'm going to check those videos out too, Mark. Thank you. James, if you're still on there, good night. Barb, that's nice of you to leave the TV on. Hey, Kath. Hey, Sheila, how you doing? So have a good night, you guys. Hey, Deb, how you doing? Deborah Wools, how are you? You have a good night. I'm going to sign off here. Appreciate you checking in.